What is up, amigos? Today we have the aerodynamics of America. So how aerodynamic is America and what is its drag coefficient? We'll find this out by the end of this video. So America was founded in 1987 and its population has since exploded to 7, making it the most populated country in the world. And some of the more common traditions in America include shaving eagles bald and breakfast burritos. So on the top part here, we have 5 different cut planes showing the wake of America. On the bottom, we have the total subdrag. And they mimic each other quite closely. Interestingly, the 5th plane, which often with other countries we do see that the wake is starting to break down quite a lot, this is still going quite strongly. So this indicates that America in general has a very big wake, which indicates that it has a big landmass. So that's not too much of a surprise. Now, there is no Alaska nor Hawaii here because, quite frankly, Alaska is really big and Hawaii is really far away. Now we have 2 Y planes here, one on the west coast and one which is not quite the Midwest, but more west than the East Coast. So sort of like mid-Midwest or mid-East-West, Midwest-East maybe, I don't know. And this plane is more like around where like the east part of Texas is. And interestingly, the west coast is very draggy. You can see that the wake is very big, very strong. There's a lot of dark blue regions in there, which indicate that the velocity is very low. The more east, not Midwest, but more east of the Midwest section, that plane in the bottom part, we can see that there is still a big wake, but if you look inside there, that there's a lot of green in there, which indicates that the flow is still fairly fast moving. And that is because we're at sort of the center, and often we see that there's this recirculation zone that occurs for these bluff bodies. Now, the top view here is a more west plane than the one that we just saw. So this is probably more like the Midwest in the truest sense. It's a little bit more west of the panhandle of Texas. Then we have the bottom part here. This is another Y plane that cuts through around New Mexico area going up. And they have very similar wakes, like they are very similarly shaped and very similarly, like the magnitude of them, they're quite blue. So that indicates that both of these regions are producing similar sorts of drag. Now we have 2 Z planes, one which is actually stationed off quite away from the southern part of America, like it's only going through the panhandle of Texas and southern Florida, yet the wake is so big. The bottom part is now going through the continental part of America, like from around North Carolina area across. And so the top part, you might be thinking, wait, why is the wake so big, even though there's almost no geometry here? Well, the reason is because we have such a big landmass to begin with, and it's redirecting so much flow that the flow has to go somewhere. So it takes quite a long distance for the flow that's going around America to stabilize. So it will take a while for us to get to clean flow. So what's happening is the flow hits the center of America, that's the flow around, and it blows out in that wake shape. And now we have 2 more north planes. We have the top part, which is going through like West Virginia area going across. Then we have the one which is on the bottom here, which is almost at the very top of America. And obviously when you go further north than America, you start to hit Indonesia. And even though this bottom part, we see that there is the Great Lake region, there's still a really big wake coming through there. And that's because we have, again, so much flow trying to make it through, and it's slow moving flow to begin with. So we're redirecting this flow 90 degrees when it hits the plane, it then has to go sideways. So that's throwing off a lot of the energy that this flow does have. So it's slow moving flow to begin with. That's why we have this wake with all this flow just bleeding through this Great Lake region. That also creates a back pressure pushing backwards. Now the $1 million question, how aerodynamic is U.S.A? Drum roll, please. It's 1.18, so that's the worst we've done so far by about 2%, and it's nowhere near close to Croatia, and that's probably because America is such a big landmass. We had a big landmass and a lot of peninsulas, and what we've seen from other countries, that is a recipe for a very big drag coefficient. So that's in this video. If you liked it, make sure to like it. And if you want to see other videos on other countries, let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see other videos with countries that we've already done, check out the playlist and subscribe. And I'll see you next video. Peace, amigos.